Hello, hello, beautifuls. It's so life-giving for me to connect with you all. And for anybody who needs to hear this today, I just really wanted to come on and say, you are unbelievably allowed to be human and to be messy. You are not loved. Hello. Please tell me where you're joining in from if you feel led. Where are you in the world? You're not loved in spite of your messiness and in spite of your mistakes. You are loved in your fullness. You're loved because you're a human being who makes those mistakes. Okay? And let's please remember that, this is something that I get to remember. I'm going through something, I'm growing and stretching and expanding like I just have not done before. And it is bringing up all of my shadow I didn't know was there. The triggers. It is just like, and if you can resonate with that, the truth for me is the same as it is for you, that you are loved because of all your messiness. And when you stretch and expand, it's going to be messy. That's so inevitable. And also what I was going to say earlier is that let's please remember, and I get to remember this too, that our nervous systems are still shot from the past year. It's like the pandemic is such on a collective conscious level. It's something that we're all aware of. And that makes the energy really powerful. So it's like our globe, literally our globe has been shaken up like a snow globe, like, and that's brought everybody's stuff up to the surface. And people are choosing either to deal with that stuff or to not. And no choice is wrong. But everybody's fears, everybody's triggers, everybody's shadow, everybody's stuff is just a lot more up to the surface because we've been shaken. So let's please remember that our nervous systems are still going through a lot. You are loved because you're a whole being. Like I said in the beginning of this, you're not loved in spite of your mistakes and in spite of your messiness. You're loved because of that. Nobody knows what we're doing. We can all just do our best. You know what I mean? And if you're following my platform, chances are you really value growth and you're growing. And when you grow and when you stretch, sometimes you're going to move out of alignment because you're finding your new alignment. You're finding your new truth. I'll probably post about this in a bit or later on, but a big part of my shadow came up, I think it was last week, with my partner. My beloved partner, he was having a very human moment, and I just judged him pretty outright, like pretty boldly. And then I kind of snapped out of it and realized what I was doing a few minutes after that. Like, hello, shadow that I didn't realize was still lurking, in my subconscious. And I felt so guilty. I felt so awful for that. And there's been just other things that I've swung out of alignment with. Or I'm like, I don't know, because I'm finding a new alignment. But that's the whole point, is that when you are coming into a deeper truth of you, when you're stretching, when you're growing, when you're growing beyond the boundaries of where you have been before, fucking up, acting out of alignment is going to be part of that. It's not if that happens, it's when that happens. The goal is not to get it right. It's to love yourself when you don't get it right. Is this resonating for you? Let me know if this is resonating for you. Or if you have any questions or insights, or if you want to drop anything in the chat, I would love to to see. You know, when I judged my partner, I felt so guilty. I felt so awful for that. And I was like, that's not me. That's so like, what happened? But I'm growing. And when you grow, just more stuff comes up you get to move through. And he's amazing. So he was so forgiving. But that was a big chance for me to forgive myself. To love myself in my wholeness and not just when I'm acting in alignment. Love is all encompassing. We're talking about unconditional love. Unconditional love. So there are no conditions. It's not just when you're doing it right. It's not just when you're acting in perfect alignment. It's not just when this, it's not just when that. It's not just when you're perfectly, and growth doesn't mean perfect, but when you're on the perfect growth path. No, unconditional, true source, God, goddess, love is all encompassing. You are loved in your wholeness. Is resonating? Part of why we're so afraid to make mistakes. I know, right? Doesn't that feel so good? That's my hope. You know, because I know I needed to hear this from other people. So I'm like, I'm not the only one who needs to hear this right now. It's part of the reason that we're so afraid of not getting it right. And we're so afraid of swinging out of alignment is because we're really not feeling safe in our own bodies. Because when we know how much we're loved, that brings a sense of safety. You know, if you mess up, apologize. Just like I did with my husband, I apologized. I'm so sorry. That was a shadow that just came flaring up. Wow, okay. And then you get to let it go. But you never have to move out of love. And part of how we build safety in our bodies is experiencing love from somebody else or from a community. So if nowhere else today, I hope that you can hear me say that you are loved. You know, we're wired to connect. A big part of how, you know, we're tribal at our most core essence. And part of how we build safety in the body is we experience true unconditional love from somebody else. Part of why I feel so much better today is because my partner was so loving. And I talked to a dear, blessed friend, a soul sister, Emily, on, when was that? A few days ago. And I told her all the shitty things that I did and I said, and she just leaned in. She goes, uh-huh. Leaning closer. Yeah, what else? And my protective mechanisms were waiting for her to run in horror. Be like, ooh, you did that? I don't know. But when that doesn't happen, but when people lean in, like, tell me more. Tell me more about your shitty thing. Then I'll tell you about my shitty thing. When people's energy don't shift around you, that is part of what helps you feel safe. That helps you build more safety in your body. How's this feeling? So, you are not only invited, but you're encouraged to be human. Be in your fullness. Mess up, because it's going to happen. Thank you, my love. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. And you're never exempt from love. Ever. Not the true unconditional love. Ever, 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 ever. Never, ever. Doesn't matter what you do. Does not matter what you do. Messed up? Cool. Let me tell you about how I messed up. It's part of it. The mess, the messiness, it's part of it. Again, remember that our nervous systems are just trying to recover from this past year, from 2020 and 2021. We've been shaken up like a snow globe. You get to take care of yourself. You get to self-soothe. You get to do what you need to do to reground and soothe your nervous system. You get to be with other people and in community who will not shift away from you when you're just being human. The part of my shadow that came out with my husband last week was the part of me that hated my own humanness. That's what was really surfacing. It was not about him. It's never about the other person. It's what triggered me was my own hatred of me not getting it right, of me not being perfect. So him and all his just beautiful humanness, I got super triggered by it because that's what I was hating on in myself. And hard as that was to move through, and I still am moving through it. You know, I feel like a mess. I don't know how I'm presenting. I hope I'm saying words, but I don't have my shit together right now. But the beautiful thing that came from that trigger and moving through it is that now I'm feeling a lot of deeper love in my body. I had to get through that trigger to get to the other side, to love that about me. To love that I don't have my shit together. To know that I've fucked up. And when you love it about you, you can love it about other people. And that's how the world is going to find healing. I'm so glad this is what you needed to hear. Hi from New Zealand. Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad. You're so welcome. So glad this is right on time. I'm so glad it's what you needed to hear. Yes, I'm so thankful. Usually if it's something I'm going through, I know I'm not the only one. So just know that. I'm going to post this replay if it's helpful at any time in the future. But just know you're loved. I love you. I haven't even seen your messiness, but I love it. Because we all have it. We all have it. And that's what's so beautiful and so great and so perfect. Let's just be together in the poo. Poo is endearing. I love the poo. Let's just be in it. Together. Okay? Yeah, I've been hard on myself today. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, of course. I'm so glad that was helpful. Yeah. We're healing layers of being hard on ourselves, right? Love it. Love every part of you. I love you too. It's my mommy. Oh, to be human. Yes. To be human. Let's celebrate it. Every single bit of it. I love you all so much. So much. Connecting with you all is so life-giving. It helps me too. Love you. This will be posted later. So much big love to you and all of your fullness and wholeness and all of your parts. Love you.